Morning broke over the cabins. Everyone but the watch gathered at the center of the camp, waiting. Eric stepped forward and began to speak. Last night, the Jones family, who owned one of the cabins to the north, arrived. They were waylaid by the same disaster we are all struggling with. They were pursued by about a half dozen infected when they reached the perimeter. We were able to stop the zombies. Unfortunately, Nate Jones, during the fight, became infected. We didn't realize this until it was too late. When he turned, he attacked Hank and Susan, who also became infected. All three had to be put down. Nobody else was hurt. Nobody else here is infected. We are sure of that. You are all safe. Hank and Susan are a major loss. Hank took on the role of leadership, but with him gone, Jim, Mary, and I will step in to replace him. Everyone will continue with their current jobs unless they are told otherwise. However, we do not have another nurse that we can use to replace Susan. And we also ask you to please give Nick time and space to deal with Susan's death. Inside Nick's cabin, I watched Ken, a friend of Nick, speaking with him while I wasn't sure what to say. Between bouts of quiet and tears, Nick relived what had happened to Susan, struggling to cope. There was a knock at the door. Eric and the new leadership stood outside. They entered and spoke about the town meeting, about what had changed and about what hadn't. "Steve, Ken," Eric said, "we need to speak with you for a moment." We stepped into the other room. "We appreciate you helping Nick, but there's work to be done. Let us worry about him." Eric turned to me. "Come with me. I need your help with something." The rest of the day was spent carrying bodies to a burial site about a mile from the cabins. A large grave was dug for the infected, followed by 3 separate graves farther away for Hank, Nate, and Susan. When it was done, Eric left for a bit and returned with Nick and a few others. Together we had a short funeral, reflecting on our loss. That night, Eric and I were back at the East Post. He worked silently on the first cup of coffee before speaking. "What you did last night was brave and stupid. You could have been shot, or worse, infected. We could be burying you today." "I'm sorry," I said. "I've seen these things attack people before, and I did nothing. I can't keep doing that. If I had a gun, it might have gone better." Eric nodded. "I'll see what I can do. Guns are scarce, ammunition even more so." He paused. The woman mentioned abandoned cars on the highway, about 5 miles out. There was a pileup. People fled when the infected came through. Could be supplies. Tomorrow you'll go with a search party and see what you can recover. The night passed quietly, and when relief arrived in the morning, Eric and I walked to the cars. I met Dale, who would be the leader of the mission. He was older, ex-professional athlete. 4 others were also joining us. We took 2 cars. As we drove, Dale explained the plan. There's a major pileup on I-19, about 5 miles out. That highway leads to and from the capital. People fled their vehicles when the infected came through. There may still be infected in the area. When we get close, I'll scout first. You stay in the cars. If it's clear, we proceed. If not, we turn back. Understood? Eventually, we reached a break in the woods where the dirt road ran parallel to the highway. The car stopped and Dale got out, scanning the area with binoculars. The highway revealed itself, a massive caravan of abandoned cars, stretching for miles toward the capital. About a mile down the highway, the first wrecks appeared. A major accident and total gridlock. 10 days earlier, this road carried traffic in and out of the city. When the outbreak began, the first wave of people escaped easily. Then panic spread. People from homes and businesses near the highway left in droves. They weren't cautious. They were too impatient, made rash decisions. People drove in the emergency lanes, tried to go up embankments, used exit ramps to go off and come back on the highway to get around slower cars. Accidents multiplied and order collapsed. And then came the undead. Looks clear, Dale said. We'll leave the cars here. He gave assignments. Caleb, Ethan, you're on siphoning fuel from the cars. Everyone else comes with me. We only go in cars with the doors open. No breaking windows, no making unnecessary noise. We don't know what might still be nearby. We bypassed many cars, ruined by fire, a total loss. Supplies turned up. Canned food, toiletries, ammunition. Someone found medicine. Even found a gun. But there were no bullets. No bodies. Where did everyone go? Rachel asked out loud. Most likely they turned, Dale replied after a pause. I looked at the endless line of cars. Hundreds of infected, I thought. Maybe thousands. Dale was reviewing what we collected when gunshots echoed the way we had come. Caleb and Ethan were down the highway. Figures emerging from the trees. Loud moaning could be heard. Oh, Jesus Christ, Dale muttered. More infected spilled out, closing in on the two men. Ethan fell first. Others chased Caleb as he made a run for the cars. Dale grabbed me. Run. We dropped everything. Lewis and Rachel fell behind. The last thing I heard from them was gunshots and screaming. After a while, we stopped running and looked behind us. I don't see them anymore, Dale said. Then he spoke quietly. I'm not sure, but I think they might be heading toward the cabins. We can't go straight there. We'll make a big circle around them. We'll lose time, but I think we'll be able to get ahead. Are you ready to go fast? I can run forever, I said. We ran again. The hours blurred. It was late afternoon when Dale stopped and pulled me behind cover. Not far away we could see the Horde, and clearly they were headed in the direction of the cabins. Dale sighed. We took too much time. I think we're about 2 miles out from the cabins, maybe less, he whispered. But even if we can get around them, they're going to make it to the cabin soon. He thought for a moment. I'm going to draw them away. You go to the cabins. You warn them. But I'm faster than you, I said. And I've outrun them before. Dale asked, do you know where the Dart Ridge is? It's about 2 miles from here. No, I answered. Well, I do. If I can make it there, I have a chance to get high ground and survive this. I protested again, but he was already handing me his compass. Go west, southwest to the lake, then northwest. Find Eric. Tell them a horde is coming. There are too many. Tell them to leave. Make them listen. Without another word, I watched him move away toward the zombies, getting close, then beginning shouting, firing his gun, running, drawing them away. I saw a stream of infected passing for nearly a full minute. When it was all clear, I began to run. Guns were raised as I reached the perimeter. Don't shoot, it's me, I said, catching my breath. Where's Eric? I have to find Eric. I ran into the compound and searched inside and outside the cabins. Finally, I found him. Steve, Eric said. Then realizing I was alone, where's Dale? Where are the others? They're all dead, I said. There's a huge horde. They're coming. What? They're all dead? Eric stared past me into the trees but saw nothing. Come with me, Steve. We moved away from the others. Tell me again, Eric said. Start from the top. I swallowed my frustration and desire to violently shake him. I told him everything without pause. Eric was quiet for a moment. So they're all dead. There's a massive horde. And Dale's running for his fucking life. Jesus Christ. Eric gave me a look like this was all my fault. Before anything else was said, we heard a commotion and saw a guard come running and screaming, "Run!" Eric yelled at him, and I looked where the guard came from. I could see a mass of shadowy figures emerging from the trees and run into the perimeter. Chaos ensued. Screaming, gunfire. I had nothing to fight with, but it wouldn't have mattered. I turned and ran with the others. For a moment, when Nick grabbed me, I thought he wasn't infected. I yelped and fought back, but Nick held on tight, pulling me, saying, "Hurry, this way." He took us to the lake. Boats were filling with people and being pushed off docks in the shoreline. Nick pulled me to Ken, who was waiting at the last available boat. Zombies ran off the docks and the shore, splashing down into the lake. They stumbled into each other, but were slowed by the water. About 10 yards out from the beach, they began to sink and weren't seen again. We rowed until the cabins were nothing but dark shapes behind us. No one spoke. The only sounds were the oars in the water and the moans of the damned. Ken signaled to the other boats to group up and paddled us over. I looked back once toward the cabins. The water was calm, too calm, and somewhere beneath it, the dead were still moving.